Hello and welcome to the Matt Stewart Sports Podcast. Today we're going to talk Sunbelt basketball. We are about a month away from the start of the Sunbelt men's and women's basketball championship tournament at the Pensacola Bay Center in Pensacola, Florida. And we're going to visit with Troy men's basketball coach Scott Cross, his team at the halfway point in the conference schedule on top of the league. We're going to visit with him. Of course, they won the tournament championship a year ago, so they're trying to run it back and win it for a second consecutive year here in 2026. I'll have the pleasure of calling the Sunbelt men's basketball tournament for the 12th consecutive season on ESPN+, so looking forward to that, and invite you to consider this as a vacation destination. I tell you what, with all the snow and ice and cold that we've experienced over the last couple of weeks here in the Southeast, what better way than to get your spring started, although it won't be officially spring yet, but get the month of March started with some basketball at the beach. Get some sun on your face, wear your short sleeve shirts again, and enjoy some basketball watching your favorite Sunbelt team play. So you can go to the website, sunbeltsports.org, and click on the championship link, and it'll take you to a place where you can purchase the tickets that way. Or you can go to Ticketmaster.com and Sunbelt Basketball Tournament tickets and purchase your tickets that way as well. And, of course, if you can't make it to Pensacola, that's your loss. I mean, it's a great place to go and watch basketball, but I'll be there to pick you up. I got your back. We'll be calling the games, all the games on ESPN Plus leading up to the championship game on the ESPN family of networks. So looking forward to that. Time now to bring in Troy head coach Scott Cross. Scott, thanks a lot for being with us. You're off to a tremendous start this season, 15-6 overall, 8-1 in the Sun Belt at the halfway point. Trojans coming off, best 9-game conference start since the 2002-2003 season, which was the first of Troy's 3 ever NCAA tournament bids. How do you keep this thing going? What's been the key, and how do you sustain it in the second half of the season?
Yeah, just reminding them, you can be a proud peacock today and you can be a feather duster tomorrow. I think last year's conference was dictated by that. South had this thing, won by themselves. They lost to Monroe both at home and on the road. And then same thing for us. We could have won it outright, but we ended up losing to Louisiana at home. We had a huge lead. It just beat them on the road and dropped that game. And then, JMU there at the end, they lost to Texas State. They could have had it wrapped up. So, each team had an opportunity to win the league outright and didn't quite get it done. And so, I don't know if that helps or not, but reminding the guys of those things. And, we just have to take it one game at a time, one possession at the time. Don't need to look at, the standings or where we are or, even the scoreboard. We just need to play the right way every single possession.
Well, that's kind of the story of the Sun Belt on a yearly basis, isn't it? The competitiveness of this conference, top to bottom, and which also, is a blessing and a curse. The curse being that you cannibalize each other, and it's hard to really put together a phenomenal season, which you guys are doing right now, which hurts you as far as trying to be more than a one-team bid in the NCAA tournament. But how do you deal with that and the grind of that, because it is such a tough conference top to bottom?
Yeah, I would say every conference is. I would say what makes the Sun Belt so tough is there's 14 teams in the league. And name another league that has 14 or more teams. Well, you're looking at the Power Four. Like what other mid-major league has 14 teams? So you're only going to get one in. We're all pretty much the same level of talent. There isn't much difference. They're all extremely well coached. Some of us have had better non-conference. I think the way the scheduling winds up, a few teams have a little bit better, resume because of, maybe they've got more home games or don't have to go play as many guaranteed games. And so that affects things. But, from top to bottom, there's no difference at all. Like I guess Monroe's at the bottom right now. Like you could flip a coin. Like if we're not ready to play, they'll beat our butt, and it goes from 1 through 14. Every game is that way. And so you have to be ready to play. We always tell our guys before we go out there, the toughest team always wins, not just physically, but, a lot of it's mental toughness. But if you're not ready to play on that night, then you're going to be in for a long night.
You already referenced last season you were 23-15 overall, 13-5 in the Sun Belt. You finished in a 4-way tie for the conference regular season championship. You go into the tournament as the 3 seed. You go 3-0 in Pensacola. You get to the final. You're down at halftime against an incredibly tough Arkansas State team, but you rally and beat those guys 94-81 to win the Sun Belt title. How big was that for you guys after 3 years? And it's been more than that, but 3 years you went into the previous 3 years you went in there with double-digit conference wins with expectation that you could win it. The frustration to get over that frustration, to clear that hump in the program and win that conference championship. And as you sit here right now, you're the defending conference champions.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, you could take it way back further. For me personally, I went 2008, my second year as a coach, and that was the rationale for firing me. We went 72-33. My last 3 years had arguably the best team for sure in year two. Year one, our star player tore his ACL. And then, in that last year when they fired me, we were also very, very talented, but made it to the championship game. But so, yeah, we had a couple of good years here, couldn't quite get it done. Last year there was, Arkansas State was low to south. JMU, there were some really, really good basketball teams. But yeah, it felt like you got a monkey off your back, pretty much. It was one of the most magical runs that from, I think, maybe 8 minutes left, we were down maybe close to double figures. And then we went on a historic run the last 8 minutes of that game. And it's pretty amazing. But don't take it for granted. Winning is really, really difficult. It's hard to do at any level. I thought when I got here, year one and year two, it was gonna happen because we kind of had things going in the previous place, and you realize real quickly how fragile winning is and how tough it is to do, and you get humbled really, really quick. This is a humbling game, and so I don't ever take it for granted. I tell our guys, it doesn't matter. Whether you playing the best team in the country or the worst team in the country, a win is a win. You got to find ways to get it done. Like I said, you give yourself a lot better opportunity to do it if you play harder than the opposing team.
Experience of a lifetime last year, and of course you're hoping to make this an every year thing. That would be the goal. Played in the NCAA tournament, played the bluest of blue bloods. You played Kentucky, no less. And it's a 6-point game with 13 minutes to play. And, of course, they ended up pulling away and getting that first-round victory. What did that mean for you? It was the second time for you in the NCAA tournament. You'd gotten there with UT Arlington, I believe, maybe second year in the Southland Conference. For your program, your players that have come back this year, more importantly, how does that help you, if at all, if you're able to get back there this year to have that experience?
Yeah, it was surreal still. Like you said, we did play pretty solid. I felt like offensively, I didn't feel like, defensively, but again, you're playing one of the most talented teams in the country. But I didn't feel like we necessarily played our best. I felt like, we could have hung with them if we would have played our best. But again, when you're playing a team like that, that's just far superior from a size and athleticism standpoint, it makes it very, very difficult. But, to get back, that would be amazing. I know it's not going to be easy. Again, you got a 1 in 14 chance each year. Anybody can beat us on any given night. I like our chances better if we're a top 1 or 2 seed and we only have to play 2 games. I don't care how you slice it and dice it. It's feasible to win 2 games. It's possible to win 3 games. It's really, really difficult to win 4, and I don't see anybody winning 5 games, in the Sun Belt tournament.
No, not in this format. A couple of years ago, I think it was 2001, or I'm sorry, not 2000, 2021, coming out of the COVID year. I think the first year after COVID, they actually won 4 in a row in Pensacola. The difference is it's not just 4 in a row. It's 4 in a row, and the next team you face hasn't played yet. And the next team you face hasn't played yet. And now fatigue starts wearing on you, whereas the team you're facing, you get that rust and fatigue argument in there. But eventually the fatigue wins out over the rust, I think, over the course of a 40-minute game.
Yeah, I really believe it sets up to put our best teams in the NCAA tournament. Last year, all 4 teams were really good. But, if you ask me who I wouldn't have wanted to play would have been Arkansas State.
Yeah.
I thought they were the most talented team. I thought we were right there with them. So in the end, we were all tied. But I think, it's going to be a top 4 seed is probably most likely. I would say 95% chance going to the NCAA tournament out of the Sun Belt.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of your guys, and some of your guys here, they've got a chance to be players of the year in this conference. Among those is Thomas Dowd. As we sit here right now, he's got 12 double-doubles on the season. He's averaging a double-double right now, 16 points, 10.5 rebounds per game. And what's amazing about Thomas is he just seems to be that guy that has the knack to make the winning play. That's not necessarily the winning basket. Maybe it's the winning pick. Maybe it's the winning rebound. Maybe it's the winning I drew the foul, fouled out the other team, or got them in foul trouble kind of thing. I mean, he just seems to have a knack to be there when it counts.
Yeah, he's a unicorn. He's, up there on my Mount Rushmore of toughest, hardest playing guys I've ever coached. And he's probably at the top of the Mount Rushmore, just being honest. You think about what's ahead, and it is daunting. JMU's a good basketball team. And then, you can look down your roster and go, thankfully, I got Thomas Dowd going to war with me. That guy, every single game is going to bring it. He has that kind of refuse to lose mentality, and I think it transcends the basketball team. In our last game against Georgia Southern on our highlight film, you don't see it, like most people aren't going to, but the offensive rebound he had where he just goes up above the Georgia Southern guys and grabs it like it's a game-changing play. He had one of those in the first half. Plays like that sometimes get overlooked, but they win basketball games. And, man, I've never seen a guy play as hard as him. He's special. He's a unicorn.
Another guy is Victor Valdez. What a season he's put together. When we talked last year, you kind of referred to him as your Luka. I think you were talking about him maybe more defensively, his ability to guard the 1 through the 5, but now he's added his offensive game to this. He's gone from 4 points a game to 16 points per game. He's averaging 4.5 assists per game. On top of everything he gives you defensively, did you see this kind of leap in production offensively?
I would like to say yes. I mean, honestly, just because we had, the Miles Rigsby's, the Tatum Connerways, last year he probably didn't get as much exposure. But when I watched him play, I watched every one of his videos of his Spanish, high school team that he was on. And, the way he could pass the basketball, he's just crafty. He can score. So honestly, I knew it was coming. But, the jump that he made, I wouldn't say it's surprising at all. And he's only going to get better. But I think now you're kind of seeing why I call him like the Sunbelt version of Luka or the Troy version of Luka. He plays just like him. He creates shots for other guys. He's a big body. It isn't the most, ripped human being in the world. Kind of has that Luka build to him, but he's 6'6". He's a matchup nightmare. He can play bully ball with smaller guards. He can shoot the 3, and then what really makes him special is his ability to pass the basketball. But he's also crafty, as you mentioned, defensively. He finds a way to get steals. He's smart. He can guard the balls. Surprisingly for his weight and size, he has an ability to stay in front of opposing guys that are probably a lot quicker, a lot more athletic. But he's very, very intelligent and really knows how to play.
It's funny how we're seeing that in professional basketball. Everybody wants that guy that, looks good getting off the bus and then plays like it too when they get on the court. But you see the Luka Doncic, you see the Nikola Jokic, and what those guys have done in the league in becoming not just good players, but the best players in the entire world.
Yeah, when we got off the bus and we went to Venice Beach, if they were playing pickup games there, Victor would not be the first guy picked, no doubt. But he might be the guy whose team ends up winning it because he's such a good basketball player. But, yeah, he's very similar to those guys. He brings to our team what those two guys bring to their team. And you got to have guys that can create offense. And when you have guys, the game just becomes so much easier when you have guys that can create offense like that group of 3 right there.
Yeah. Then you got the family, the Campbell family connection. Scott, the dad, he's an assistant on your staff. And then you got brothers Cooper and Kobe. Kobe redshirted last year, but they've combined for 23.5 points per game this season. They've hit 93 threes, shooting 43% behind the arc. And on top of that, Cooper leads the team with 102 assists. Where would you
Yeah,
be
it's
without those
amazing.
guys?
Yeah, his assist to turnover ratio is amazing. Their 3-point shooting is amazing. They Coach Campbell's done a phenomenal job, and his wife. She was the real player. Miss
Really?
Bree was the real player. She played at Oregon, and then it looks like their little sister Kaya may be the best of all of them. I believe she's like second in the state in scoring right now, and just breaking every record. Charles Henderson right down the road, but. Cooper and Kobe are phenomenal basketball players. When Kobe gets going, man, we're so hard to defend because he can just shoot it and he's got a quick release. And then, Cooper's been there, done that, but tough. When the game's on the line, he wants the ball. He won us that game at Kent State, put us on his back. Same thing, San Diego State, even that USC game. If he wasn't the best player on the court, he was one of the very, very best in those games. And, just a very, very smart basketball family and two really talented guys that are, a joy to coach every day. They're always in a good mood. They're high character. They're great teammates. You can't say enough good things. They're fun to coach.
Yeah, y'all had that phenomenal West Coast run, which is great. The only problem with that is, it happened, it's still football season, so that kind of stuff gets buried sometimes, but doesn't get buried to the committee and to the people who watch basketball. Just a phenomenal run by you guys, kind of get things jump-started in your non-conference heading into your conference. Graduate center Theo Sang, he's another guy who's living proof that, you can still develop players. This is his third year in your program, I believe, and he's averaging 13.6 rebounds per game. And was not at least as far as I know, he was not a big time prospect when you guys picked him up out of. I think he started in junior college or a community college or a smaller college in his career.
Yeah, he was at Eastern Arizona. He was, we thought he could be the player that he is right now. Like his first year, him and Thomas Dowd. Thomas's freshman year, they split minutes. I started him every other game. Then Thomas kind of had his breakout year last year. We had 3 5-men. They're like best friends. They're roommates. They live together. But when Theo got that extra year back, the JUCO year, he had a decision to make because, I'm sure he didn't want to just split minutes with Thomas Dowd. And, we had Jackson Fields was departing and, R.J. Jones, Rondarius Jones was also leaving. And so, we sat down, we talked about, hey, there's a possibility we can play you some minutes at the 5. You and Thomas could actually be on the floor together at times. And I think, that kind of got him back rejuvenated and fired up. And, he's really a 4-man that we play at the 5. And I think, our staff a lot of times gets excited when we play traditional bigs because they know we're going to be hard to match up because they're not used to guarding a guy that can pick and pop the way Theo does. And he's become a really good defender. He really knows how to wall up and rotate. He rebounds the ball well. And then like that Old Dominion game, he was 10 for 10 from the free throw line, had a double-double, and I believe like 8 of those free throws were like the last 2 minutes of regulation and then in the 2 overtimes. And to hit those when the game is on the line and every one of those shots, just is absolutely amazing and shows, his mental toughness as well. But super fun kid to coach as well. He's one of the favorites on our team. Every single guy on the team absolutely loves being around him. He's always in a good mood. Just a joy to coach every day.
Your son Austin comes off the bench for you this season. He's a redshirt freshman, and you're getting about 15 minutes per game. What's it like for you to be able to look down that bench, see your son sitting there and say, Austin, get in the game?
Yeah, I let my staff do the substitutions. I try not to get involved in it.
Probably keeps you out of trouble with his mom too, Jennifer, right?
Well, yeah.
Hey, look, I was going to put him in the game, but it's my staff.
Yeah, they don't always understand everything, but it's like Shane Battier said, play so good that you'd make us look stupid if we didn't put you in the game. And
Right.
so, he's got really, really good guys in front of him, but he has done really well when he goes in the game. He doesn't hurt us defensively. He knows how to rotate. He's gotten a lot tougher, and now he's starting to knock down shots and get a little bit more confidence. So, we know we can put him in there and he can play, 10 to 20 minutes depending on the game and, not be much of a drop off. And, it's been interesting to coach. I mean, it's been awesome during the wins to have your son there and be a part of it. Few shoot arounds. I've gotten a little bit heated and, actually the first one, Kent State, I had to apologize to him afterwards because you have such high expectations and you expect your kid not to make a mental mistake, being a coach's kid and understanding things. But, so that part has been tough. But in the end, I would say the pros definitely outweigh the cons. And I think we're both pretty good at, when we walk outside the lines, I'm back to dad and he's back to son. And so I think we're both really, really good at putting the basketball part aside.
That's cool. One final question. What's the obstacle, if there is an obstacle in your mind, to keep Troy from running this back this year?
I would say complacency, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think our guys got to have an edge to them every single game. That 5-game roll. I mean, really though, these 2 games, like, if you take care of the home games, that's going to put us in a really, really good position to win the league. You probably need to win at least one road game, and you're probably going to have a share of the conference championship. But, again, you have to protect your home court. These 2 games are crucial right here. But, the only thing that matters is the jump ball against JMU. And then after that, we got to take it one possession at a time.
Absolutely. And, of course, winning the regular season title would be huge. You always love to have a banner for that. But realistically, being the 1 or 2 seed is huge, and certainly 1, 2, 3, or 4 are the valued positions. So things to aim for as you head into the second half of the conference schedule. Scott, thanks a lot for being with me today, and look forward to catching up with you in the Sun Belt Tournament.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Always great to visit with Scott Cross, one of the really good guys in the business. He really is, going back to his days at UT Arlington and now the fabulous job he's doing with the Troy Trojans. I've known Scott for a while now, coming up on over 2 decades. So impressive job he's doing there with the Troy Trojans, and we wish them the best as they get ready for the Sun Belt Basketball Tournament. Again, great place to go. Early March, first week of March there in Pensacola, at the Pensacola Bay Center. Basketball on the beach, can't beat it, especially with all this cold weather that we've experienced here over the last couple of weeks. Time to get back to thinking about spring and heading into summer, get some sun on your face, sit on the beach, go watch your favorite team play basketball during the day or night. We'll have games, 2 games, men's games every day, 2 women's games every day. First 2 games of the day are always the women's game, and the last 2 games of the day are always the men's games. And again, I look forward to calling it. My 12th consecutive year, I've had the honor of calling the Sun Belt Men's Basketball Championship Tournament on ESPN+. So great to visit with Scott Cross. Thanks for visiting with us today, and we'll see you next time on the Matt Stewart Sports Podcast.